Ask yourself the damn question. Is winning the only thing to you?
Sports today are not just played on the field. They're played every day, online, all over the world, by sports fans just like you.
Don't you dare breathe. That won't get you anywhere. If you don't think you're a winner, you don't belong here.
The Star Fantasy League Show puts you in control of your own team. Find out who to sit, who to start, how to play, and have your daily fantasy sports questions answered with your host, Jonathan Sprung, and co-host SFL CEO Zach Stanley and Nick Steblenko. The Star Fantasy League Show is on the air now.
Hello and welcome to the Star Fantasy League Show here on 105.5 The Team in Rochester. I am your host, Jonathan Sprung, joined, as always, by SFL CEO, the Deucey Moose himself, Mr. Zach Stanley.
I'm starting to think that baseball projections might not be my Matt Forte.
I see. You had to get...
Did you get it?
Yes, I
Because of football, the football player? Matt
Wait,
Forte?
there's a guy named Forte? I thought you just didn't understand words. No?
Well, I pulled that name out of a bush.
Ah!
Michael Bush!
Wait, Mike? Really? Michael Bush? You weren't going Reggie Bush?
No.
Oh. Why
Michael
not?
Bush.
Oh, okay.
Bears.
Yeah, thank you. I understand. I think you just made Teddy Bear 2 Nick Steblenko a little bit angry mentioning a bear.
What? No.
I thought you said yesterday
He
you
might
dislike...
pull out some of his cutlery.
All right, that's two bears. You going to stand for that?
Ring the bell, baby. Ding.
It's 3 bears, right?
What? Who was the third one?
Bush.
Yes. Who was the third one?
Forte.
Oh, you did mention Forte off the top. Yeah, that's 3. Oh, man.
Jay Cutlery.
Okay. I feel like you're doing this because you think we're talking... I think he thinks we're talking about the Chicago Bears today because we've been doing this on the Star Fantasy League Show, talking about every single NFL team over 32 days. We're on day 8. I don't think we're on the Bears, though. I think you're in the wrong division, wrong conference.
John, stop trying to police the show like a marshal.
Newhouse.
What?
I don't know what that was.
What are you talking
Marshall Newhouse. He's actually one we're going to talk about today.
Oh, yeah, okay, pretty good. So he is relevant.
Yeah, except we are not talking about
Brandon Marshall.
Yes, that's what we were talking about. We're not talking about the Chicago Bears today. Today we're talking about a team that I'm supposed to dislike, but I could honestly care less about, the Cincinnati Bengals.
Interesting. The team that won the division last year, you're actually not
But
going
I'm
to be
saying,
upset about them?
From a rivalry standpoint, I just see no reason to be afraid. They've been okay for a couple years.
Wow, okay. They're going to win the division this year.
Yet
you know that,
you have so much loathing for the Browns.
Ravens. Well, and the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
They're the same
team.
team.
But the Browns are not the same team. The Browns are...
Again, I'm gonna liken this back to baseball. Rivalries and being afraid of a team are two different things. I'm not going to care about the Cincinnati Bengals. I respect them. They're playing pretty well.
So they make the playoffs over the Steelers, and you're not afraid.
Wait a second. You just said you're not afraid of them.
I'm not that afraid.
You have no reason to be afraid of the Bengals?
I didn't say I have no reason. I just said I am not afraid as a Pittsburgh
So you're
Steelers
saying
fan.
Bengals-Steelers isn't a rivalry?
What, in the last 3 years?
The Browns is the bigger rivalry.
No. The Ravens...
You ranted about the Browns yesterday.
I know. I had fun with that.
I think you caught him.
Yeah.
No, caught.
Stick it to him.
Congratulations. You guys yet again gang up on me. Ooh, good job. Wow, you pulled that one out of somewhere.
Don't we gang up on everybody?
No, it's just
we gang up on people that aren't even here to defend
yeah,
themselves. At least
gang
you're here
up
to
on
defend
me
themselves.
too. It happens.
All right. Today
Can't
we are talking about these Cincinnati Bungalows. I'm allowed to call them that because apparently they're our biggest. They're our biggest rivals. No, they're actually not. All right, let's talk about them. 2013-14 for the third straight season, they're one and done in the playoffs. We're really good in the regular season. Won every single game at home, despite I don't know. They have a home field advantage there. I don't really think so.
Well, I would call that a home field advantage.
Okay, winning all your games and having a significant home field advantage is two different things.
So now you're saying that they don't have good fans. That's what you're saying.
Oh, these are the same fans that 4 years ago were wearing bags over their heads to games. Prove me wrong.
Crickets.
This happened. This did happen. You can't refute that claim.
You should be very afraid of Andy Dalton.
I should?
Yeah, you should.
Oh, my God.
He has markedly improved every single season
hold on.
since he's been in the league.
I noticed that as well, except for the fact that he threw a bunch of picks last year. That number went up as well, obviously. When you're throwing more, that number will tend to go up unless you're absolutely elite. But the numbers all have gone up. But this is a contract year. We're kind of at a crossroads for the Cincinnati Bengals. Are they going to re-sign him for max money at the end of this year? Or if they go one and out again for 4 straight seasons, what do you do at that point?
I don't necessarily know that they need to give him a max contract at the end of this year.
He's going to try.
He'll try, but I don't think they need to. I mean, I think that they need to re-sign him, absolutely, because he's just been better every single season. I don't think A.J. McCarron is going to progress so well in his first year behind the bench that they're going to have any other option.
You think A.J. McCarron is a future on this team?
No. I mean, I think he's in a good
this
situation.
league?
I think he's in a good situation. The fact is that he can actually control the ball. He can actually play the ball control offense. I don't know. I mean, that's really up to him how hard he wants to work and how much he studies. If he sits on the bench 4 years behind Dalton, I could see him actually coming in.
Well, Colt McCoy did that pretty well, too.
Oh, God.
What do you mean?
Controlled the offense.
No, he didn't.
He was pretty. I mean,
not
he was
the way
pretty
that
McCarron is like spoon-fed those plays on Alabama.
Hey, listen, I totally understand what you're saying, and I agree. I don't think that he right now.
He's not
there's
an
no
NFL
reason to believe that he's not right now. But I do think that he has potential.
I would consider it
he's a
unlikely.
smart quarterback. You have to give him
All
that.
he has to do is pass Jason Campbell, and he'll be the backup quarterback. So congratulations, A.J.
Yeah,
McCarron.
I'm smart too. I don't have a howitzer on my
Okay,
arm.
I'm not saying this guy's going to play this year, and we don't even need to keep talking.
Yeah, we're spending way too much time talking about that. Let's talk
Did
about.
you see though that sign that one of the fans hung at training camp about not giving Dalton an extension?
What does it say?
I don't remember.
Oh, thank
There
you
was
for
a
that.
sign that said it basically just said don't extend Andy Dalton, and it was
I think it's
hanging on a
ridiculous.
bridge.
I think it's ridiculous. I think people are asking for too much too fast.
That's going to be the big question. Do they see this as just kind of stuck in the mud with Andy Dalton? Are they going to try to upgrade? Can they even upgrade the position?
They've always needed to get more pieces around him. I think that they did a good job last year when they drafted Tyler Eifert. I think they gave themselves more weapons there, but Marvin Jones coming in this year
He played
as after the season he had last season. I think there's an improvement. They have to continue to improve as a group, and if people are going to ask them to win in the playoffs every single season as a third-year starter, I just think you're reaching.
Let's talk about last year A.J. Green incredible again. Marvin Jones had a great year, 51 receptions, 712 yards, 10 touchdowns. He had 4 in one game, I believe against the Jets, right?
I don't
think
remember.
that was a Jets game. Eifert played really well in his rookie season, 445 yards receiving, considering he was the second tight end, basically behind Jermaine Gresham. Will be again this year, but I'm assuming his role will expand because of the lack of wide receivers they have.
But the man who got more yards than Eifert was Mohamed Sanu, only by 10 yards. But
yeah, but I don't.
Dude, I like watching this guy play. I liked him when I first saw him playing.
I think
when
they
they
need to
did
get him
Hard
in the
Knocks
slot.
together. Yeah, I think they do too. But supposedly he's made some ridiculous plays already in training camp, and he's looking awesome.
But he's also taking advantage of Marvin Jones being out, which is good. That's a good problem to have. It is a good problem
I'm just
to have.
saying, when I have seen him play, the way that he can how quick he is, how quick he can pivot, I think he's got a chance to be really impressive, and I think he can be a huge X factor in this offense.
I just think the challenge for this offense is to figure out how to use those pieces together, because it is a good problem to have when you have more playmakers on your offense. You just got to figure out a way to get them the ball.
Yeah, let's talk about key additions and losses for this team. They basically added nothing. They added an offensive tackle, Marshall Newhouse, Daniel Manning for safety, but this team was really good on defense last year. 5th overall, 5th passing, 5th rushing team. Not good in takeaways, but when you have a top 5 defense, you really kind of don't want to change all that much if you can help it. And this team is kind of staying pat.
They did lose Michael Johnson and James Harrison. Those are
James Harrison. Come on now.
I don't
Okay,
think
fine.
James
I won't talk
Harrison
about
was
James
what-
Harrison.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think he was what they expected.
Michael
him to be.
Johnson was important to this or to the defense.
I agree with that. But yeah, James Harrison clearly was twilighting.
Yeah,
It was
fine.
Getting all those pricks in his back for the acupuncture.
Yep, acupuncture. You got it.
He ran out of time.
Yeah, and the additions. I mean, there's aside from the draft where they got how do you say it? Darquez Dennard? Darquez? I don't
Darqueze?
even. No, I don't know. I have no idea. We're gonna screw up.
Darcheesy?
Yeah, there you go. Darcheesy. If we call him that, I am okay with
Lemon
it.
Darqueze.
No, I have no idea. Jeremy Hill's going to be interesting. He's coming in potentially as the backup running back for Gio
I
Bernard
am
here.
so excited about Jeremy Hill. He's already, you're right. He's already above Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis.
That's not that hard.
Oh, come
How did
on
they
now.
not figure this
It's
out
impressive
last
for a
His
guy
size.
that come right in. Yeah, he's 230 pounds,
Yeah.
yet he's really quick. And I don't think that this organization has just yet seen Gio Bernard as a bell cow type player.
Well, the thing, what I'm interested to see is how they're going to use him. Are they going to use him more as a first, second, third down running back, 3-down running back, or are they going to put the ball in Jeremy Hill's hands on first down? Because he is a bigger guy, he can be that between the tackles rusher, and Gio really played a lot more in the passing game than people gave him credit for.
Well, you know what? That actually is one of the biggest offseason questions I had for the Cincinnati Bengals. Will Gio Bernard be given the keys in his second offense? Do you think he season?
It sounds like that's what they're moving towards, but I don't know. Is that really what they want to do?
I just think Hill could be a goal line guy. I think he could be a third down guy.
But
change of pace guy. I don't know. They're really excited about him, and if you look at the numbers, he's more explosive. He's faster. He's younger than Carlos.
What?
Hyde. Charles.
What name?
Right? Is it Charles?
Carlos Hyde?
It is Carlos.
What word are you trying to say right
God.
now?
Why are you talking about Carlos Hyde, though?
Because they both got drafted, and right now in fantasy drafts, people are drafting Hyde above him.
Well, I mean,
I think that he's in just as good. Hill is in just as good of a situation, if not better, to get touches right out of the gate.
It just depends on what Marvin Jones and this offense want to do.
Why did I think it was Charles?
No, not what I'm talking about.
It's just befuddling.
Yeah, well, that's just it depends on what they want to do with this offense because we do, like you said, Hill is bigger, could run between the tackles a little more. I don't know. Is Gio Bernard really the guy to handle 260 to 300 touches?
I think they're gonna. They held him out so much of last year that I think they're scared of it. You might see a kind of a share this year. So I don't know. Maybe you should be a little higher on Jeremy Hill.
We saw the same thing with Green Ellis when he was the pounded guy when they needed that extra yardage, whatever they needed, because Gio just doesn't have that kind of strength.
He's
right
5'7".
now. Yeah, he's 5'7".
He's tiny.
He's a smaller guy. He's not as big of a pounded guy as Ray Rice.
It just
at
depends
all.
on
He
the
just
type
doesn't
of
have
offense.
the physique.
It really depends on the type of offense. But I mean, who is it? Right? They got Hugh Jackson, the offensive coordinator, right? So really, it just leans towards that. It leans towards Jeremy Hill being more of a factor. It really does, because if Hugh Jackson is going to implement a run-heavy offense, Gio Bernard is not going to hold up for 300 carries. That's just not feasible.
That's not his game.
No, not at all. Exactly. He plays a lot more in the passing game. He should be coming in on second and third down versus first down.
Yeah, 56 catches last year. I really don't think they're going to try to shy away from a back that can do that.
But that's what we think. I don't know what they're actually going to do.
And that's not to say it's not like Bernard hasn't done well in blocking schemes. He's done fine, but he'll be able to come out of the backfield, either pick up a blitz or come out of the backfield and make a catch. He'll be there, but those are on passing downs. I think when they want a pounded guy, a change of pace, Hill will be right there. And the fact that he's already above Green Ellis, showing promise.
Bright things in the future for this rookie running back for the Cincinnati Bengals. Coming up after the break, we're going to be talking about fantasy outlooks for all of the Cincinnati Bungalows for 2014-2015. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on 105.5 The Team.
The Star Fantasy League show. Information is key to being a successful fantasy team owner, and the guys have all the updated info you need right now. Okay, fantasy sports fans.
There's a letter in your mailbox.
Time to dig into Donald's mailbag for your questions and comments.
Read the mail, read the mail, read the mail.
Jump in the game. Send your questions and comments to the Star Fantasy League's team by tweeting at SFL Show.
That is right, Bengals fans. All you have to do is tweet us at SFL Show. No, we don't have any Bengals fans. None of them listen to the show.
Right? I have a friend who's a Bengals fan, an avid one.
And he probably listens to the show as well. Go ahead.
Definitely.
Shout him out. Go ahead.
All right, Mike Katz.
We love you, Mike.
We know you're out there in Arizona listening to us here in Rochester, so thanks.
Can we give him a quick who day?
No.
No who day.
That is so annoying when he does
kind
that.
of annoying.
Yeah, you will not do that. Yeah,
He's one of those borderline annoying fans. Like, he's not completely over the top to the point at which you want to root against his team, but he'll start like spilling out knowledge and like, dude, why are you naming like a third string defensive
that's
end?
me.
Why am I supposed to care about that?
That's me. Hi.
Well, yeah, you're pretty annoying too in that stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
I love that.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm a Steeler fan.
You know what? You got to give it to him. He loves his team.
I mean, I know the guys. I'm just saying, I really think this guy's going to... No, dude. He's starting the season third
You know what?
string.
Okay, so hold on. You're calling us obnoxious because we're going over all 32 teams on the Star Fantasy League show and telling you the players to look for. So you just called us annoying fans.
I'm only calling you annoying, John.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I love when you guys gang up on me. It makes me cry after the show. I go home and I cry.
Well, you know, and then the guy does a lot of gloating after. That's when it gets really bad. He doesn't gloat too bad.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Well, I mean, his team has unfortunately lost in the first round of the playoffs the past 3 years. There's not a whole lot of gloating he can
Utter
do.
devastation.
We're still talking about the Cincinnati
Not really
Bengals.
fair.
I wanted you brought up the second biggest offseason question I had for the Cincinnati Bengals before the break. The first one we kind of touched on, but I want to get a more in-depth conversation about it. Can an NFL team led by Andy Dalton win it all? Because the reason I ask this question is this team is really good. Everyone around this team, their defense is really well positioned. They were a top 5 defense last year. Overall, they were a top 10 offense. But as soon as they got to the playoffs, they got beat by just a garbage team in San Diego. They weren't that good.
I say yes. I really do. I think that they just haven't put all the pieces together in the playoffs. I think they need to run more in the playoffs. I really think they have a chance.
Yeah,
of-
what happened?
He lost that San Diego game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 3 straight years he has been bad in those playoff games.
He's been really bad in the playoff games, making poor decisions.
And most of them are home games, right?
And we're talking about interceptions here. We're not just talking about having an off game.
Yeah.
We're talking about throwing the ball away, and that was his biggest problem last year with 20 interceptions. He was up to 3.4 on his interception percentage, up from 3.0 the year before. He just can't be making those mistakes in the crucial moments, and I think that's what they've been really working on and what they're going to be working on throughout camp is what he's going to do at those times when he's rushed, not trying to force the throw and make a big play, because we saw a lot of those 20 interceptions were flutterers that ended up in the defensive player's hands.
Is that a growing up issue, or is that like a general football IQ issue where you can't determine the correct time to throw the ball away or try to make a stupid, like just a
I think
really
it's
stupid play?
developmental. I think it is. I mean, he's proven that he's a smart guy capable of being a good quarterback in this league.
Well, we're coming up on 4 years, so I think
This
that's
is
what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, I think that's why they're not going to extend him right now. If he can get halfway through this season and showing that he's had a big curve in that type of play, I think they'll extend him later on in the season.
I think that would be a mistake to do it in the middle of the season.
I said later on.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I think to do it during the season, I think they should extend him regardless because this guy has been growing with the team. They need more pieces. They need a guy in the slot like a Wes Welker or a Julian Edelman that safety blanket for guys like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady.
But if he can't overcome this issue,
Yeah,
but what is it? But the issue comes with his decision making, correct? Okay,
which is the same reason that we were skeptical of Jay Cutler's massive contract extension.
Okay, but then they also added Alshon Jeffrey. They have Brandon Marshall, and Martellus Bennett has come into his own as a tight end. And Matt Forte plays out of the backfield. I mean, they've given him pieces. They have A.J. Green, who definitely makes him a better quarterback. There's no doubt about that. They have Gio Bernard coming out of the backfield. They need that outside second wide receiver like Marvin Jones to step up. That needs to happen. I don't know that Andy Dalton can ever be a game-breaking, game-changing quarterback, but I think they can win with him. He can manage the game well enough so that they can actually win in the playoffs.
Yeah, don't forget, Joe Flacco won a title 2 years ago.
Joe Flacco
Same
literally
place,
just
same
popped
player.
into my head.
It's just you cannot expect him to be Peyton Manning running the entire offense knowing all 7 guys that are going out for a pass.
Although, to be fair, Joe Flacco has an arm. Andy Dalton has not proven that he has that absolute cannon of an arm.
Yeah,
he doesn't have it.
But still,
You can't learn cannon arm. You just can't do it.
He's got a bomb, though. He can throw bombs.
He can throw a bomb. He can throw a bomb.
How many times does he throw bombs to A.J. Green? Please.
That's because A.J. Green's, I don't know, whatever.
A.J. Green's what?
Fast and runs really
I
far.
was gonna try to say that. I'm like, yep, that does not help my argument whatsoever. Never mind.
But even with the players that they have on the Bears now, Cutler, it's still a concern. Is he that guy who can get you in the playoffs? Absolutely. But can he get you over the hump and be in those critical situations and get it done? If Andy Dalton does this one more year,
I will happily say no.
If they extend him and Andy Dalton does this one more year, then what are you saying?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said he could potentially not be on this team if they do the same thing again.
But what's the next best thing?
He's
what's
going to
their
be
next
there.
best option?
He's at camp. He's going to be there next year if they want him. So why don't you just wait?
I'm just saying, what is the next best option?
That's the whole thing. Are you happy to be a team that goes to the playoffs every year, or do you want a quarterback who has proven who can do this?
Well, obviously everybody wants to win. You always want to win a Super Bowl, but
I don't know about that. Most of the teams don't think that way. What's Jacksonville doing? They're not trying to win a Super Bowl.
Okay, but so a perennial playoff team doesn't want to win a Super Bowl? Anybody wants to win a Super Bowl.
I'm saying.
They want to win a Super Bowl in Buffalo, don't they?
Yeah, baby.
Go Bills!
If you had the chance to sign a quarterback that could get you there, overextending Andy Dalton, they do it in a second.
Who?
I'm saying. It could get to that point where they somehow get an available
Andy Dalton's season last season was among the best.
The whole point is the exact argument. I know we keep going back to this, but it's the exact argument that you can make for Cutler is that what was the other option? What were they going to do? Either they extend this guy or they have nobody, and they're searching around for a couple years with a team that has enough talent to be good.
All right, I feel like we're spinning our wheels again. Andy Dalton. Oh, wait, we're going to talk about it again because we're going to talk about fantasy implications for the 2014-15 season. Andy Dalton, the 17th overall quarterback. This is in PPR leagues because that's the wave of the future, obviously. He's rated as a 17th quarterback. I think that's way too up there.
Way too up there?
I think he's borderline QB1.
Oh, I thought you were saying that was too high.
Yeah. Sorry. The high and the low thing is confusing. 17th, he should be closer to like the 12th to the 14th.
I would agree.
Yeah, I would agree as well.
Definitely.
If I have him as my number one quarterback currently he's going in the 11th round.
I think he's a steal.
I'm pretty happy with
Plus
that.
his attempts went up by like 50 passes last year.
Yeah,
compared
Gio
to
Bernard
2012.
getting more of the offense, of like the carries and all that helps him out because he's a guy that can catch out of the backfield.
What I would do is I would wait because you can get him down in the 10th, 11th round, and then draft another guy right behind him, maybe in a round or two later, sort of maybe like a Ben Roethlisberger or somebody like that, or even a Ryan Tannehill.
You know what?
I told you before, I'm actually getting a little bit higher.
You might be able. I haven't seen exactly where Cutler's been going, but man, Cutler the past couple years, I had him 2 years ago. Last year played well for a little bit. He's a guy that you could kind of plug in. You're happier as a second
Cutler's
guy.
a massive injury risk. That's the only
That's
problem
what I'm saying.
with
As a
him.
second guy, though, if you have Dalton
if
and
you're
then
gonna
a
do
Cutler,
two.
that's a pretty good tandem right
I think
there.
he's a great quarterback in 2 quarterback leagues, but
Yeah.
I would agree. I mean,
Or
I
I
think you
could get a
compare them.
quarterback in like the 8th or 9th round that's really, really good, and then get Dalton as my backup in like the 12th, 13th, 14th
so like
round.
a Romo Dalton type thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Romo usually goes around that 8th round, doesn't he?
Even Kaepernick, all those guys are right in
Broken
there.
Romo.
Brady somehow is right in there right now.
All right, what
yeah.
about the rest of this team? Obviously, I think AJ Green is egregious as the 11th overall player in fantasy. I think that's insane.
In a PPR league?
Two receivers up there? Really? You're taking a receiver in the first round.
98 receptions, 1,400 yards, 11 touchdowns. If you think that is not good enough to be in the first round, I'd love to know what kind of drugs you're on.
We can't talk
I
about
thought
that
you were
on the
going to
air.
say I'd love to know what is. I didn't know.
No.
Okay,
We're gonna
fine.
bring
What is
paraphernalia
good?
into this situation?
Yeah, we're not-
100, almost 100 receptions,
Josh
and
Gordon's
1,400 yards.
Josh
and
Gordon's not part of this conversation. We're not talking about what we're doing on the air. It's not
16
happening.
nanograms. Crap.
I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to pick him in the first round for
Well,
sure.
it depends on your strategy.
I like the late round wide receiver. I like it a
That's-
lot. But
that's
I'm
the way I've been
looking at Des Bryant. I don't know. Julio Jones and AJ Green are pretty close. Probably AJ Green above Julio Jones.
My only thing with Des Bryant, I think he's a monster, absolute monster. AJ Green is the focus point in this offense. You know he will get the ball thrown his way every single week. Cowboys do have a couple other pieces. They do have some options. So AJ Green is the guy. He will be going down the field every single game.
Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah, I mean that's good, but
Even Kelvin Johnson is going pretty late right now because
let's say
people are looking
Peyton,
running back heavy.
Let's say Peyton Manning regresses just a little bit. That means that some of that's going to come away, just a little.
little more pass happy in Denver.
I know they are.
Demaryius
Yeah,
Thomas,
of course.
little more reliable, I would say, on a game-to-game basis.
Than AJ Green?
Yes.
Well, yeah. Well, the other drawback, and I've said this about AJ Green in the past, he has to face Joe Hayden 2 times.
That
He
is
has to
true.
face him twice.
And
Joe
hold
Hayden,
on.
it doesn't matter who you are. Joe Hayden shuts you down.
Blanket boy.
Don't forget, another cornerback in that league, Ike Taylor, shuts him down historically. He's
Yeah.
been pretty good against AJ Green.
Why
Not
did
great
You weren't too high on Ike.
in general. He's getting older. That's why I said he only shows up against AJ Green.
It's a difficult division for defenses to go up against. It's a difficult division to ever be playing from behind significantly, really, so that doesn't force a lot of passes, a lot of openings down the stretch of the game, because a lot of these games in this division end up being pretty low and pretty close.
Well, let's say you're in a 12 or 14 team league, and you got the number 12 or the number 14 pick.
Oh, I take
Isn't it great? Isn't it awesome taking either a running back and a wide receiver or 2 wide receivers right there? You
Yes.
get Dez and AJ Green. I'm all for it.
Well, if in a 14 team league I got Dez and AJ Green,
Oy.
I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'd be
guess
pretty
that-
ecstatic.
I guess that is about right. All right, what about the rest of the wide receivers on this team? Marvin Jones going as wide receiver 49 all the way in the 11th round. Anybody interested in him?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if he's really if he's going to start seeing more targets, then absolutely. I know the 4 touchdown game kind of spikes his numbers a little bit, but
It's still been a lot of good things about him if you watched him play, if you've seen him in the offseason, how he's coming in. I mean, if he stays healthy, I think they'll be in really good shape to produce with some upside as well.
If you're high on Dalton, I'm assuming you're going to be high on a couple of these receivers. Like you said, maybe a Mohamed Sanu taking a flyer on him.
If I was in 20 rounds, I'm taking Sanu. If I was in 16, maybe my last pick. But he's somebody that I definitely want to keep an eye on if I don't end up drafting him. I think he'll go undrafted in a lot of leagues, but he's worth looking at and seeing what he does on a week-to-week basis early on because he could be a good pickup.
All right, quickly, I want to know your thoughts on Gio Bernard and Jeremy Hill. Gio Bernard, RB11, around the mid-second round. Jeremy Hill all the way back to the 9th round, 43rd overall running back.
I'm really sitting off. I'm backing off of these guys. I really want to wait and see.
You think Gio's too close to the top?
It's too high. It's too high for me. I know that people are expecting him to take a big step, but it's too much right now.
Yeah, if Jeremy Hill falls, then yes, but Bernard in the top 7 or 8, I absolutely can't do it.
Can't do it.
All right, that's the end of the Cincinnati Bungles. Coming after the break, we are talking Tuesday Major League Baseball, getting all your top plays in there for the day on StarFantasyLeagues.com. And you listen to the Star Fantasy League show on 105.5 The Team.
Play fantasy sports for cash prizes. Join the top daily and weekly fantasy leagues in the country at StarFantasyLeagues.com. Now, back to the Star Fantasy League show with Donald, Teddy Bear 2, and the Deucey Moose. Only on the Team.
Deucey, Teddy, we didn't have time for John's mailbag because we couldn't stop ranting and raving over Andy Dalton.
About the division-winning Bengals.
Yeah.
That might be true.
That's not going to happen.
It's probably
not going to happen.
But I'll tell you, that little situation with us extending ourselves is probably going to happen again.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean,
there's too much to be said about these teams, and it's so exciting. I can't wait for NFL.
I mean, tweet us at SFL Show if you're interested in the NFL talk. And if you send us questions, we're probably going to acknowledge it. Thank you for your question on the air like we're doing now, and then not talk about it.
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
Yeah. Was it Jim?
I thought there was a guy that Jim that
it was
Cameron.
Cameron,
yeah. Right.
And also a former host of the show, fill-in host, Matt Footer, sent us a question. And thanks, Matt, but I'm not getting to your question ever. So, not happening.
Ever.
Yeah, appreciate that.
It was like a really in-depth drafting question.
Well, when we get more towards the the fantasy drafting, hopefully we can have some more.
The best part is he listens to the show, so sorry, Matt. We're not getting to your question. It's not happening.
Okay.
Not going to happen. But you know
I'll answer that offline for you, man.
Exactly. You know what is happening, though? We are talking Tuesday Major League Baseball. I would love to be accountable for yesterday's actions, but my team did so poorly. All of my pitchers were gigantic dumpster fires.
I didn't do very well.
Yeah,
no?
neither do I.
No.
It was a self-admitted weird day. A lot of people in the industry I saw tweeting going, oh, I can't believe we were so off on this or this. Or a lot of weird things happening.
Well, were we off on how bad the Red Sox were going to be?
Okay. I did stack.
I'd say it's over.
I somehow stacked the Blue Jays and took out Melky Cabrera.
It is over. I'm conceding.
You're conceding?
It's over.
Well,
right.
I mean, the rumors now are just running wild about Lackey and Lester, and everybody's going.
It's so over.
It's it does look like it's over.
But the Tampa Bay Rays are on a hot streak.
So, yes.
Hey,
so are the Marlins.
You know what would be? Yeah, they are. You know what would be really, really funny in all this? Because of all the David Price speculation, what if they're the team that trades for John Lester? That would be something to see.
Well, considering that the two organizations have had a lot of problems this year, I just don't see that happening.
The Brewers have inquired.
They've had a lot of issues, John.
It's hard to trade interdivisional.
No, come on now. They hate
now.
each other badly.
It's fun.
If it works, I'm sure they do it.
Two worst in the division are just going back and forth.
That is true. Yeah, well, let's be honest. It's mostly David Price and David Ortiz that are having the problem.
Yeah, but who was it that just came out and said, Archer. Chris Archer came out and said something. Said that
he did the bat flip to
Archer. So what? You know what? He's a veteran. He can do whatever the hell he wants. He's won a World Series single-handedly.
Yeah, like nobody ever used to be like, oh, Ken Griffey Jr. is really pissing me off. He's doing that walk after he hits his home run.
Yeah, he does walk.
Because he's the man. He can walk however he wants. Pitch around him then.
Let's be honest. David Ortiz is one of the best hitters.
Yeah, he's
power
a
hitters
boss. And
ever.
how many times Pujols has done that?
There are some that are saying he's not even Hall of Fame worthy.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I'm just saying.
Maybe because he was on
talk.
He was on the Mitchell report.
Ooh. All right, you know what? Let's talk about some people that aren't on the Mitchell report, at least that we don't know about. We're talking about today. You have just over an hour to get your lineup set on StarFantasyLeagues.com, so we're going to give you all the stacks, all the players, all the pitchers you need to make your best team right? We doing that?
Definite Hall of Famer in my opinion.
Yeah,
David Ortiz,
are you
by the way.
kidding me? Three World Series rings for this team,
yeah.
basically single-handedly getting
one of the most clutch hitters in playoff history.
Actually, I would say
two.
Single-handedly got
two.
I would say if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have won any of those.
I know he had the game-winning hits to bring them into the World Series once.
His World Series last year was unbelievable. It was like
he beat the Tigers
knocked
single-handedly.
in Brian Roberts against the Yankees.
Ugh.
Hit the home run against the Yankees.
I get a little misty-eyed when we're talking
Brian
about
Roberts.
this stuff.
Yeah, Brian Roberts, the guy that got on and then
Dave Roberts.
Dave Roberts. Not Brian
the guy
Roberts. Not modern day Brian Roberts.
No, this was Dave Roberts, the guy who stole second base,
Don't
came in
put-
cold.
Don't
that
put
guy.
Brian Roberts in.
Nope. All right, so we're talking about stacks. I feel like there's a couple stacks, couple Chudley pitchers going. You can put anywhere from 2 to 4 players. 4 is the maximum on starfantasy.com. So where are we heading for a stack of the day?
I'm going to the Yankees, which I absolutely love. Going up against Nick Martinez.
Man, that Rangers lineup or pitching rotation is beautiful for daily fantasy.
Yeah, they are just awful. Nick Martinez is unusually terrible with a 5.71 XFIP, a 32% ground ball percentage, and 1.49 home runs per 9. Not really good versus either side of the plate. I'm looking at Ellsbury. I'm looking at McCann, Beltran, Gardner. There's some good value in this lineup too.
I thought you shied away from them because you said the Yankees weren't doing well against the Rangers pitchers.
Well, that was Darvish. Okay.
Yeah, but that
that didn't work out, and that didn't work out either. So maybe I'm biting my tongue, Nick.
A bunch of these matchups are like repeats from last week. That's why I'm curious to see how it's going to go. I really don't know because you have Tillman going up against the Angels again. I honestly would maybe advocate for that. You have the Texas, New York Yankees going again. I mean,
you'll never see me vouching for Nick Martinez, Nick. That really doesn't matter.
Well, I don't think there's any reason to do that.
I don't think anybody has ever vouched for him in the history of baseball.
I'm surprised you don't
Your name
root
is
for
Nick.
him.
I like
there you go.
You're a good guy.
All right, we have to talk about the weirdest over-under line I've seen of the entire season. Colorado-Chicago, Jorge De La Rosa versus Edwin Jackson. This over-under is 7.5.
I told you, Edwin Jackson, dark horse.
Are you kidding me at this over-under?
It's a little weird.
This is a Colorado team that could easily, especially on Edwin Jackson, put up 7-8 runs alone.
It's kind of fishy.
But the Cubs can't beat De La Rosa.
Again, are you kidding me?
Nope.
They have one of the hottest righties in the league right now in Anthony Rizzo. The guy's been on an absolute tear.
He's a lefty.
I don't care.
He said he's the hottest righty.
What?
He's a lefty.
I said against. Oh, my God. Are you kidding?
You guys are confusing yourselves.
Yeah, I am. That tends to happen.
What team does Aaron Rodgers play for? I want to pick him.
No, you're not allowed to do that. No, honestly, Anthony Rizzo, he is a lefty, but he's batting .422 against lefties, that's kind of impressive. That's like a David Ortiz type number. Ortiz destroys lefties. Rizzo apparently also destroys lefties. Home against De La Rosa, I think he's kind of a no-brainer.
I'm calling 2 strikeouts.
Really?
It's happening.
And 2 home runs. No big deal.
Probably,
cool. Let's go with that. You can find some value in this Cubs lineup too, but they scare me. They really do.
I mean, with all the injuries on that Colorado team, though, I guess maybe that's why that line is so low. It doesn't really make sense. I understand. But
Edwin Jackson is just one of the king chuds in the league.
I would think at least 8.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to go conservative, go 8.5.
The injuries. Obviously, there's not as much power going on in the Rockies lineup right now, and then they're in Wrigley, which isn't the same as being in Colorado. That's for sure.
It's still pretty good.
Yeah, it's still pretty good.
You know what it is? It's because of the weather. I forgot about that. That's one of those games that might be rained out.
Okay. If it's rained out,
it has nothing to do with the fact that it's rained out. I'm just saying because of the weather.
Is it windy?
It's 85% chance of precipitation.
Yeah, if that happens, obviously pay attention to the weather, pay attention to lineups. These are things on StarFantasy.com, you have the ability to swap players out. That's one of our best features on the site. If you see somebody, not in the starting lineup, 10 minutes after lock, you can switch them out if their game is until later.
Totally.
That is so cool.
Definitely
I'm
helps
do
you
it.
out. But again, you can find. You mentioned a lot of injuries. You got Rutledge in there. He's playing. I believe he's playing shortstop, right?
He didn't actually end up playing when I had him last night.
He played. Really?
Yeah, they put some other chud in there.
But he was in the original starting lineup that they listed. I saw it.
So you missed out on him?
Yeah, he wasn't there.
Yeah, I had him in my lineup, but he was in it. I didn't check again. Oops, that tends to happen.
We're bad.
Yeah, make sure you check to the last second. Nolan Arenado at third. The Dick Man, you guys got to get him in there. That's your boy, Corey Dickerson. Yeah, he's batting .438 against righties, and Edwin Jackson, again, one of the worst righties in the league right now. He's well paid for his terrible team.
That he is.
Good for him.
Good riddance.
All right, where else are we going for Stack City?
Well, I like the Dodgers against Aaron Harang. I know Aaron Harang is like Sometimes good, sometimes bad.
He's in the tumbleweeds a little bit lately.
But I really like their numbers. I think they've actually done historically well against him. And I'm kind of going outside the box a little bit by picking Hanley Ramirez and Matt Kemp and Adrian Gonzalez.
Okay. And the last one I wanted to quickly mention, another one where you can get value if you do it right, is the Oakland Athletics. Going up against a certain guy named Scott Feldman, not so good.
Yeah, no, this was the other one that I looked at primarily besides the Yankees. I think this is a great opportunity. Feldman's kind of a chunker.
Yeah, a chutter.
Chunker, chucker.
Yeah, chucker. That works. Yeah. Like I said, you can get value depending on what this lineup does look like. They have so many good players. They probably run 12 deep on Oakland. So just see who's in there. Reddick's been really inexpensive and hitting well since he came back. I kind of like him a bit. Voigt's been hitting really well. All these guys are just, a lot of them are under 7,000, a couple under 6. You can get some good value, and don't sleep on Brandon Moss. Just don't.
Yeah, even the higher guys aren't a bad price for a team of that caliber and the offensive production that they've put out.
Yeah, Moss is a lefty beast.
You don't want to start your Moss is boss chant?
Moss is boss.
No, it's not chanting day. Stop that. All right, we got to talk about pitchers really quickly. We got about 3 minutes left. Where are we going? Because I'm not allowed to talk about pitchers after the 3 chuds I threw out there last night.
Shark, baby.
What?
Oh, sorry.
He loves Samardzija more than anything, and he wants to
I
talk
do.
about
He's
him.
my boy.
Yeah, I've got him too.
He's my Notre Dame baby.
I've got him too. I mean, the numbers are ridiculous. He has pretty much just come over and coasted, and there's been no big difference in switching leagues for him.
Yeah, surprising. Going NL to AL is usually difficult on a pitcher, but not if your name is Jeff Samardzija.
He's been just fine. He's a strikeout king, and he's up against the king of strikeouts as a team in the Houston Astros.
Yeah, this is one of those matchups you just salivate over, especially because Samardzija's salary is not in the elite range yet. It's around 15.
I can't believe that's where it's at right now. I mean, his ground ball percentage is over 50. 0.72 home runs per 9. That's fantastic.
That's good. Very good.
He is very good. All right. Outside of Samardzija, which I think he'll be extremely highly owned tonight on StarFantasyLeagues.com, where are we going if you want to kind of get outside the box and pick somebody a little different?
Strasburg. I love Strasburg tonight. I know Miami's been okay lately.
He's at 15,000. How is that outside the box?
Yeah,
it's not outside the box.
He
That's
just said
asked
outside
for.
the box.
Well, it's outside the box because Miami's hot.
Fine.
Okay, fine. And he's a little expensive. Fine, sure. I think I've picked Strasburg once this season. He burned me, and I just haven't been back to him yet.
The 6-inning kid.
Hey, he's been between 5 1/3 and 7 recently. And that's it. That's the only thing he does.
I don't care.
Yeah, he's not. He's not going to get you those minutes. But a guy who will get you the innings and has been pitching really well is Tyson Ross. I love Tyson Ross tonight.
I was looking at Lance Lynn myself.
I have it written down that I love the matchup in general. But if you're not one of those people who wants both pitchers in a matchup and you actually have the money, I would advocate for Ross based on the way he has been pitching of late.
I would probably actually lean with Zach on this one because San Diego's bad. St. Louis can at least hit every once in a while.
Yeah.
San Diego, the only time they hit was the time that I told them to. And
St. Louis, they're in the bottom third. I mean, let's be honest. San Diego is the worst in the league against righties. St. Louis is in the bottom third against righties. You're picking, and San Diego strikes out a lot.
I can save $2,000 on Lance Lynn.
You could do that.
And I'm going to.
But if you want to save a lot of money, there's a guy I'm going to mention, Marcus Stroman. Going up against the Boston cannot hit Sox. They can't hit whatsoever.
Boston give up Sox.
Exactly.
Throw on the towel, pull out the tarp.
You mentioned a lot of these matchups they already happened a week or so ago. Stroman pitched against Boston, 11.95 fantasy points. 5 of his last 6 have been really solid starts for Stroman. And he's around 10,000 on StarFantasyLeagues.com. I consider getting him in.
I would consider Anibal Sanchez.
Ooh, of course. Oh, wow. A Detroit pitcher. No way.
Are you
all right.
surprised?
Coming up after the break, we're giving you all of our top plays of the day for Tuesday on StarFantasyLeagues.com. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on 105.5 The Team.
You're listening to the Star Fantasy League show. Contact the StarFantasyLeagues.com guys via Twitter at SFL Show.
We're back, and we're talking for the 4th straight segment about the Cincinnati Bengals. Oh, no, we're not doing that. We're done.
Yeah, it's over.
We are done forever with the Red Rocket. Coincidentally, one of my least favorite nicknames for any quarterback ever, the Red Rocket. Come on now.
Ginger Boy.
That's probably also a terrible nickname if that
Ginger Snap.
See, now that one I like. I like the Ginger Snap.
Not bad.
Yeah, right. Look at that. We fixed his entire trajectory of his career by giving him an actual good nickname. Congratulations, Andy Dalton. You're now going in the 4th round.
And great job, Nick.
Yeah, great job, Nick.
Wow.
Hey.
All right, hold on. Let's see if you can keep it going. We're going to give these listeners our top plays of the day for StarFantasyLeagues.com. Major League Baseball. See if they can set their best lineups. You got about an hour left to set your lineup. So, Nick, give us your top plays of the day. Keep it going.
I like Adrian Gonzalez against Aaron Harang. He has had really good career numbers, 3 home runs and a 1.474 OPS. He's at 7,600, so I think it's a bit of a value play of the
For
day.
him, yeah, he's been around the 9,000 mark most of the season.
If he smacks one, you're good to go.
Woo.
Value play is going to be Juan Lagares for the New York Mets. He's going up against Cole Hamels, and I know you got to shy away from that if you like Hamels. However, his career numbers, along with a couple of other Mets, have been really good. So I think that a lot of people are going to play Hamels tonight. Not going to be the good way to go. So I like Lagares. He's under 5,000, so good value there. I like Strasburg tonight going up against Miami. He's had 2 starts against Miami this season. His first was amazing. It was like 14 points. Second was very bad. But they were back-to-back starts, and we know that when a team gets comfortable with a pitcher, they can hit him. I would go with a stack of Detroit and the Dodgers.
Detroit and the Dodgers.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Zach, continue this train.
Baby. I'm stacking the Yankees against Nick Martinez. I'm going to go ride your coattails a little bit there, Jonald, and put in Ichiro at 3,500. And
it burned me once and it helped me once. So.
Yeah, why not? And then I'm going to put in Ellsbury at 8,200. Took the day off yesterday. Probably be in pretty good shape, ready to go today. And Samardzija, how can I not?
The Shack.
13.9. I mean,
The Shack.
The value that you can get out of that is up with the top value guys right now, and he's on the path.
You know what? I'm going to call an audible because I want to do one of those weird things which you occasionally like to do where you give your top value guy as your top pitcher. I'm going with Marcus Stroman as my top pitcher of the day.
Not bad.
For the Toronto Blue Jays against the absolutely reeling Red Sox, who, honestly, we may see them tonight. They may have 7 players. I'm not really sure. That's how bad they've been playing. They might just forget to put out 2 extra guys.
Oh, Boston.
Yeah, they've been bad. Hitter of the day, let's go for Brandon Moss against Scott Feldman. Lefty hitting around probably 4th, 5th. That's where he likes to hang out. Probably got the highest potential on that team to hit a home run tonight, I assume. Most likely.
Could go boom.
Yeah, let's go for some value on that lineup as well. Obviously, I'm advocating the entire A's stack. If you can, save some money with that lineup as well. Josh Reddick. I like Josh Reddick. Now that he's healthy, hitting a nice little lefty against Scott Feldman. I'm just going to keep mentioning Scott Feldman's name until you put the entire team in. Do it.
Josh Reddick can hit bombs, too. I mean, he's got power. Good to see him back in the lineup, but his salary regressed a lot just because he was out there for so long, and right now would be the time to look at him, I would think.
Can you imagine that team got better without actually making a trade there? They just got one of their better hitters back, and all of a sudden the team's more dangerous.
The only way that you can put Josh Reddick in your lineup tonight is if you know how to do the Bernie. It's the only way you can do it.
You know how to do the what?
The Bernie. You don't know how to Bernie?
Does he do that?
I am so frightened by you right now.
Is there video of him doing
There is video
that?
evidence of this.
Oh my!
They play it at every A's game.
Is that how he got injured?
Probably.
That'd be
he
really
was leaning
funny.
back too far.
All right, guys, that's enough of that. Thank you for joining us on the Star Fantasy League show.
This is the Bernie, John.
He's doing
Thank
it right
you.
now.
Head to StarFantasyLeagues.com, play in our daily free rolls, $50 free roll Tuesday and Thursday every single week. Daily free rolls, $10 every day, $5 free. Tweet us at SFL Show and join us tomorrow when we're talking 2 segments about the Baltimore Ravens.
Season long, coming
Yes,
up.
Lots and lots. I'm so excited for the NFL season. And if you're not excited for Andy Dalton's new nickname, you don't know the Ginger Snap.
Ginger snap.
Take it easy, guys.